Hello, dear applicants, that is those who are interested in our subject. If you develop a passion for the subject of technical drawing, there will certainly be some excitement before the exam. Now, according to your requests, we will provide you with examples of drawings that may appear in the creative exams. That is, the drawings of the given object. Some call it a detail, others call it an object. When looking at its two projections, you need to determine the missing projection. You often ask what the level of complexity of these objects will be. Now, this is being clarified. It will definitely not go beyond the school curriculum. Very complex details will not be given. However, despite this, it may still seem complicated to you. Because if you pay attention to such more complex details at school, some of them might seem completely new to you. You might be seeing this for the first time now. If you start thinking this is gewoon, this is complicated, this is simple, I wish only the simple ones would come up, don't set such expectations for yourself. The main thing is, how should you draw this diagram? Now, let's say we choose one of these. Of course, the final decision is entirely up to you, but here I am presenting several different examples for your consideration. You will definitely need to organize and structure everything in exactly this manner. You can certainly do this, and it is highly recommended that you should seek to get your parents' full blessings for it, and sincerely ask for their heartfelt prayers. We are giving everyone guidance. Now let's move on to a practical exercise. It's better if I draw it out for you in detail. Please provide a board for the practical exercises. All right, now let's talk about arranging things on the board. But in our case, it's not a board. You'll have a sheet. You'll be working in that format, meaning you'll be given an A3 format sheet. On the A3 sheet, you will need to draw the two given projections and the missing projection, that is the side view. And in some cases, even the intersection will be provided. You will also need to fit the intersection onto the sheet. That's why you should first study the topic of layout thoroughly. I have covered this topic in previous videos. If you search for it, you will find it. When the learners did it, they chose this option. So what do we do with this option? You place it in front of you and start drawing it. That is by in front of you. I mean, you fold it like this and keep it with you. You place it in front of you. After you've placed it, let's also set the time for this. Now, what time is it? Tell me, what time is it? What's the time? It's 14, let's say 14:20 or even 30. Is that okay? 14:30? All right, while you're drawing, as I mentioned in my first video, both day and night, I've talked about this issue of composition. If you look at the first video, I mean, even in composition, this depends on the size of the detail. Do you understand? For example, the detail might be given large or it might be given small. Taking that into account, what does the A3 format have? It has both length and height, right? It's given with both addition and subtraction. So I said that we need to draw it from both projections at once. That is, I am drawing what has been given here. Now, the reason I'm placing this here, that is, why am I putting it up here? To draw a perpendicular line. Do you understand? It's time for that. Then also pay attention to this line here. I'm drawing it with a dashed line. Do you see? Here, from the top as well, from the top as well. When you're drawing, instead of guessing like this or like that, if you make a 90-degree angle, you'll have a second line too, right? You can do that. After placing it for the height from the top, you already have a 5 millimeter mark. In your drawing, let's say you leave about 15 or 20 millimeters, maybe even more, I'm just saying. It doesn't have to be exactly 15 or 20 millimeters. Don't think it has to be 15 or 20 millimeters. The detail also depends on the size of the book. There are calculations involved. Taking those calculations into account, you do it perpendicularly. You draw a thin line here, make it perfectly perpendicular. There you go. If you want, you can take it to this side as well, but I'm drawing a thin line. Are you paying attention? Now, there is an overall height for this. If you pay attention, it's right here. Here's the side as well. Won't it go beyond this after all? It won't go beyond, right? All right, you count. We're drawing it again here. Here, we're drawing it. Now, you shouldn't sit there wondering what this will turn out to be, wondering how this will come out. As you keep drawing, the thing you're thinking about will come to you naturally. Here, the front view will be placed. Will the top view be placed right here? We call this the horizontal. Should there also be a distance between them? Leaving that distance, let's say, after you've marked those calculation points. Here it is, after you've marked it. Now check its width. How wide is the detail? It's 60. If it's 60, what would it be divided by? It would be 30. Now you understand this. What is it that you don't understand? This means your detail has a center, a middle point. It's always divided by an axis. That's why you take it from 30. Taking it from 30, I'm placing it twice, like this. Now placing it here like this. Here's one, here you go. And this one, this is its edge here. Now its center has also appeared, see? The center has also appeared. Now for our lines to be parallel, if you mark it from here, And if you want to do it faster with parallel lines, just like this, here you go. If you place it along these lines and draw, it will come out just right, like this. Let the center always remain as a plus sign, like this. Let it be like this, and then let it turn into a dot like this. Let these lines be here as well, like this. For now, all of these are in thin lines, as auxiliary lines. Take this into account as well, like this. Here you go. And this one, here you go. This one is in a light, thin line. For now, here you go. For now, here you go. I brought it here and took it away like this. Now, this has an overall length. Can you tell me what is the total length? It is exactly 110 units in total. If it is 110, you mark 55 on each side. You can also do this with a compass. Now, if you want to do it without guessing, can you set the compass to 55 and mark it like this? Will it still give you this result no matter what? Yes, it gives you that. Am I getting a different result? No, it's exactly the same. See, it worked out. Let's mark the bottom part like this. Here's the compass. You can do this with the compass. But with a ruler, do you have to measure out another 110 each time and mark it again and again? Isn't it enough to measure it just once? We measured it once and now we're marking it. See, it drew a fine line. There you go, you're done. Now pay attention. Here, this is how it looks from above. The top view is almost done. It just has its shapes. That is, it has its elements. There's a part that goes inside. Both of these parts go in here, right? So how deep is the part that goes in? How much? That's it. If you take it to 40 and place it like this on both sides, is that enough? Of course, is it necessary to subtract 110 and do it differently? Is it not necessary? It works just fine this way. Okay, now look, I'm drawing on this side. It's not necessary to draw on this side. Actually, you've already drawn it here, if you draw it correctly. Do you know why? Because after we've made the cut here, we don't show this side. We show the cut on this side and draw it all in one go, like this. Now, what is the width of this? Now, if it's 30, can I just do 2 of 15 each? It's not necessary to use a compass. Now, however you've learned it, that's how you'll draw it, right? So if it's 15, you just mark 15 on both sides. On this side, that side, this side, that side, and then you can just draw it a bit roughly. That's what I mean. That means this detail won't change anymore. It will remain exactly as it is. Here, you will neither erase nor make use of the ones you're currently working with here. Okay, what else is there when we look from above? From above, that is, we leave the view from the horizontal as it is. For now, let's move on to the frontal view. Now, in the frontal view, what is the distance given up to this circle? How much? It gives 60. The radius of the circle is given as 25. It's 25. That's it. What kind of situation could the drawing end up in? The drawing gives you the figure, but doesn't provide the center of rotation, but it does give a radius of 25. So you open it to 25 like this. We set the radius to 25 like this. After setting it, don't touch this 60, just search for it. Draw the arc. Do it like this, like this. Now, this arc can't be drawn all the way to the end, but there is a specific point up to which it should be drawn. The point up to which it should be drawn is where the center of rotation is right here. It is placed up to that point. That's it. It becomes a point. Since it's a cap, it's drawn only up to here. Bring it here and mark the point. Bring it over. Draw it up to this mark. That's all. Now, this is the base, the height of the base. Okay, it's 25. Currently, it's the same. If it was earlier, that is, if this is 25 and your compass is ready, you can mark the arc at 25 like this. When you bring it over and draw this, pay attention as well. I've said it several times. Now I press this side lightly, but I'll just let this side be like this, because we won't touch this side later. We won't touch it later. Now for 25, you need to bring it out straight like this, right here. If you have 2 rulers for drawing parallel lines, I'm measuring it to make sure it comes out straight. That's all. I'm also placing it on this leather here, to this side, to this side. To bring this downwards. That is, on this side here, what needs to be done to it? I need to straighten it, right? There you go. Now, we'll just leave these sides as they are. We can also leave this one as it is. We're leaving this one as well. You can also leave this one as it is. Even after you've cut this one to leave it, you can see this side, all of it is visible. It hasn't even touched this side. It has a circumference. How small is the radius of the circumference? The diameter is 30. The diameter is 30. From 15. Now you can also draw it with a compass. Now if you have adapted to using the compass, you can set it to 15 and draw a circle. So it doesn't make a difference for you. Here is how you draw it here. You just keep drawing with the compass. Now since I'm used to it, I just draw it like this. To make sure this comes out correctly here as well, after you place your compass, if you mark both sides without changing the compass setting, you'll see the dashed line when you draw from above. The dashed line will be visible. This way you'll have shown it all in one go. Now, there you go. All right, now to draw the dashed line for this, it has a width. The width. Okay, the width is 40. It will be 20 on each side. Take 20 and mark it here like this. Let's mark it on both sides like this. All right, you can set this aside now. Now, you don't need to draw this line, but where will this appear? It will appear as a dashed line. You understand? Now, if you pay attention, you've drawn two projections. Even if you can't quite visualize it yet, you at least have an idea of how to start the third projection. Is that correct? That is, you might say, someone will rotate it from here, someone else will draw a diagonal, another person might add another axis like this, maybe someone will take it further. Maybe their instructor taught them to go further. It doesn't really matter, for example. Let's say, okay, when you say take it from the template, this central axis line comes right here. After it comes, you can take it at a 45-degree angle, like this. Just like this, there you go. We did this, we'll keep doing it, because this is the axis line. Even if you rotate it and move it, it will still come to this spot. So if you rotate and bring the axis here, open it to this distance and then rotate it, what happens? It forms a quarter. Isn't that clear? We can use just one of them. After you've found this width and its center, you can keep measuring the width with a ruler from then on. For example, if the width is 60, there's no need to bring the ruler again and set it at 60. So just take your ruler or compass. After all, you already have the width, right? You'll bring it over anyway, after all. So just bring it over and set it down, just like this, see? Or like this, for example. Isn't that faster? What I mean is you're saving time. In that creative exam you're given, whether it's an hour or two, or if they give you 90 minutes, the goal is to finish within that time. Now you draw the center axis line like this. And then what do you do next? So while you're doing all this, what happens next? Then you start to hesitate, right? You start thinking, what league were we in? What was it like again, right? So what do you do next? You try sketching it out yourself. Now you also try to mark out these heights, of course, like this. You mark them. You mark this one as well, like this. If you start hesitating at this point, that's what we call a sketch, or as we often say, an outline. Some people call it a working drawing. Before marking it, you need to try to visualize it. So you take a sheet of paper in front of you. You take it and try drawing it. Look, it has a bottom part. For example, it has a bottom part. If the bottom looks like this, just as an example, then here there's a place where it curves in. You can imagine that, right? Isn't that so? There you go. There's one on this side as well. There you go. Then the middle part, it's positioned in the center. There you go. Now, well, if you start, it might look a bit odd or come out a bit differently. But if you think, it seems like there's something like this here, what do? You just make a sketch of it in your own way. Then do you start to see this third projection in your mind's eye? Yes, if this part here is going to be like this, then it turns out there are also these two lines. You might think, I can take these two lines from here and just take these two lines like this. You take these two lines and place them here. That is, it means that it will be here. Okay, then it turns out this has a width. Where should I take the width from? That is, this thing here didn't work. So you take its width, and now, after taking this, where does its width start from? Does it start from here? Here. You place it there. Now you put it on both sides and see, like this. So tell me, what exactly do you have with you right now? Almost the third projection. Then, when you make the section, what do you do in the profile projection as well? You apply it to this side. That's why you set this side, and for now you don't really work on this other side yet. Because here it has a hole. what do you need to do with the center axis line of the hole? You need to bring it over. You bring it over with a dash dot line anyway, and you place it like this. And after measuring the hole, whatever the radius is, you set that radius on this side like this. You set it like this. After setting it, you draw it like this. Now, you might still have some doubts. That's why you check it before shading it in. The part you have set. See, you have 3 projections now. Let's measure for now. Another one has appeared. So what's left of this now? The final image, meaning whether you do it in isometric or dimetric projection isn't specified. But what do most people use? They use isometric projection. And actually, that's convenient. All right, let's try drawing it in isometric. Did you understand this part now? All right, so up to now, how much time did it take for the 3 projections? Did it take 15 minutes? Now it's done. Now it's 14. It's 45 now. Okay, you draw for half an hour, right? Draw for half an hour. Draw twice as much, like in this example. Now drawing the isometric axis. Now there are many methods for this. We have taught them. For example, there are several methods for it. Often people get confused and divide it into 3 equal parts to draw the isometric axis. All right, some people use that 30-degree ruler we have. Okay, when the 30-degree ruler comes, hand it over. Some people use that. Because one side of it is 30 degrees, another side is 60 degrees, and the other is 90 degrees, which makes it convenient for drawing isometric axis and generally working in isometry. Because 45 degrees is also needed in its own place, as you saw. In isometry, you need to use this ruler. That was a bit insufficient. We also have students who are studying online. When they reach this level, they just take a picture and send it in. Because when we check it, we show it and send it back again. Now, for those studying offline, we just quickly check it live and move on. Okay, now someone might ask, for example, how do you draw this with a 30-degree ruler? Now, for me, this is coming out a bit low right now. If you place the ruler like this, see, there are 2 ways to place it. And what is the distance between these axes when you do it this way? If you place it like this, see, is this the isometric axis? Right? Very quick, easy, no problem at all. You just need to draw the z-axis at the intersection of the 2. There's no difficulty at all. This is actually quite convenient when drawing on that sheet. When you're thinking about the center, if there's a midpoint, know that half of it goes this way and half goes that way. If there's a small cut section, you can just estimate it. From here, you can draw a circle with any radius you want. The radius doesn't matter. After you've found the center and drawn the circle, what should you do next? It needs to line up straight from here. This line here needs to be straight. It should be straight like this. Some people don't align the axis properly like this. They don't take the axis straight and just place it carelessly like this. If you do it this way, the isometric axis will be off and distorted. It's not necessary to measure the radius and draw it exactly like this. This is done when you're learning and showing everything in detail. In the school curriculum, they show it like this at the beginning. But now it's not necessary anymore. You even have to erase this circle, right? Isn't that right? Now, which axis is this? Which axis is this? Do you know their names? Which one is this? We used to give it a name. Which axis is this? You understand? This is the y-axis, right? What does this part represent? It represents the width. Remember this. For example, if this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis, then the length is measured along the x-axis. Do you understand? This represents the width. What does the z-axis represent? What does the z-axis give? The z-axis?
The height.
The height is always indicated by the height. This is the x-axis. This is the z-axis. Now let's draw the base. The length. You place it like this. Here, this is the length after all, the length. Now you keep mentioning it on the board. For example, you draw it parallel to this one. You place 2 rulers, right? Now you need a protractor for the ruler. Here is our ruler. I don't know where it is right now. You place it like this and move it along. You bring it over carefully like this. That's how it is, right? You bring it over and draw this like this. But most people aren't doing this. Okay? Now I'm roughly moving it by hand. Look, right now I can't put the ruler here. Sharior, keep telling me. All right? If you draw these 2 lines, this is what makes it difficult for you, so you need to get the parallel straight line. The next part is easy. Why? Because for the next part, you just take the width, right? This is the width now, correct? No matter where you measure it from, even if you measure from the middle, if you place it on both sides, will it come out parallel? Here you go. If you place it like this, it will come out parallel, right? That's it. So just make sure to level this part. Check it twice. Then that's it. Once you've done that, if you say it's done and connect this part and connect this one, is the bottom finished? If you want, this will come out parallel. Now, of course, I mentioned this. It might interfere with the circle. Now, if the number of lines increases too much, it will interfere. If not, just keep drawing thin lines. So what's next? Should we set the height? The height is parallel to what? To Z. Here, it's parallel to Z. Here, we've set it parallel to Z. Again, here, we're not drawing it completely. Anyway, we've set the height. Let the box stay underneath. We're not doing the elements. Now mark it on all four sides like this. You've marked it on all four sides like this. If you draw this as well, it's a very simple thing for the purpose. Usually the thing that makes you think is the top part, right? What was the top part? How should I put it now? Now we'll solve this top part. After you put it like this, I'm not showing the elements. This is what's troubling you. You need to put this thing in place. What do you do to put this in place? First, measure the height, that is, take this distance. Where do you take it from? Look here, there, I took the height. Where do I put it? Place it from this center. You understand? Now it matches our situation. Here you are drawing a separate line from this spot. In your mind, you are drawing a line from here. Is that clear? This is it. Now don't pay attention to those lines anymore. Then to this one, that is this one. Now bring this over again, align it and move it like this. Bring it over like this. Is that correct? Now you need to align it and bring it right here. In other words, another isometric axis has just been created. There you go. So this small one is the z-axis and this one is the x-axis. Now, what needs to be done? Here, that is this point. This point has been formed from here. Now you set the width. The width. You set the width right here. Now I've set it on this side as well as on this side, like this. After setting it, you draw two more isometric axes. From there, you extend and draw another z-axis from this small point, like this. With the x-axis. There, it's done, just like that. This way, I won't get confused with the axis. This one as well, like this. Draw it. Why are there three? Because we're going to cut it, right? We need the middle part too. Now draw this big circle. Let's draw the front part like this. Let's draw the front edge like this. After drawing the front edge, this part is also present here, right? It's at the back too, isn't it? Here, right? In our case, since we want to present something to you, the object is small compared to the length of our board. Are you paying attention? The measuring tool is smaller than this. It should be bigger. Our board is shorter than necessary. It ended up being too short. All right, now let's draw this circle here. How do you draw it all at once? Once we have this circle, this half circle is correct, right? There's no continuation for this yet. This circle goes into this 1/4. In the second, third, and fourth quarters, the circle also goes into all 4 quarters. Do you understand? We'll cut off the front part of this arc. Do you understand? We cut off the front part. It's present in the middle and also here. For this, look here, we take this arc. In isometric, you first draw it like this. We take this one. There's a center point. Did you see that? Here's the point where it intersects with the axis. You can take it like this. Our axis is here, right? Draw it like this so it doesn't become invisible to you on the protractor. Bring it over like this, and if you draw a thin line, it will look like this. That's our radius. See, I'm not changing it. I drew it using the radius. Then there's the point where it intersects with the circle. Did you see that? Now you draw that as well, like this. So what do we need now? I'm not drawing this one because I'm going to cut it for this. Now making it perpendicular, I still need to find the small center. What did I need to do for that? Did I need to draw the axis like this? Is that right? By drawing it through and aligning it with this intersection point, you would find the small center. Is that right? After finding the center, what would you do next? Like this. you would draw an arc like this. Do you remember? Now you need to draw exactly the same thing here as well, but it's not necessary to draw it again, that's what I mean. And so you would draw this as a perpendicular here, and here is the point you found earlier. You bring that point over to this one, just like this. Here you go. You bring it over, and with this radius you set it exactly where you measured the arc, and then you bring it over like this. But even then, don't bring it all the way to the end. But you might ask, how far should I bring it? Well, I'm drawing this perpendicular here, right? You bring it up to the point where it intersects. That's all. And when you're drawing, you connect this part to that as well, like this. You connect this point to that one. That way you'll get a smooth curved line. There you go. This then goes downwards. This one also goes downwards. This one also goes downwards. Then you go from the intersection point. Now, what's left? There's a circle inside. There's a circle inside, right? Do you see this part? We need to draw this. Now, let's stop this part for a moment. Where does it stop? Who can tell me? For example, we need to stop this part. On which line? On mine. Do you see, does it stop here or here? It's actually not that hard to find this. You'll cut it from the field anyway. Would you cut it from the field? If you take it and the middle of this also goes up from the field, like this, you would cut it from the field like this, right? Is that right? It comes up to the line where you cut. That's all. Do you understand now? Here you go. It comes up to there. That is exactly it. This one. This represents one very straightforward method, and we can also carefully highlight and mark out the simple areas. Okay, this is the part that goes inside. Here is the part that goes inside. We can mark this out as well. I'm not teaching you the simple parts in detail because I assume you already know them. How wide was this one? It was 15 units according to its shape. You measure it and mark it like this. You mark it on this side and on that side as well. This side is done. If you mark the other side at the same time, it will be even better. It will be faster. You understood this even without me explaining, right? You understood. Because this wasn't something too complicated for you. This part was lower, see? Now this goes up again. Does that look correct to you? So what exactly happens when you try to do it in this specific way with this part? You can see that they intersect right at this point, just like this. All right, actually, you need to draw a line for this. Okay, actually, we should have drawn a line here. If you take 15 of these and put them on this side, it will go over to the other side. All right, this one is also done. And let's just carefully pull it out of there and see exactly how deep it really goes. Here you see, take a close look and measure all the specific details for yourself. But again, there's no need to refer to the original size. Do you understand? Here, you can take it yourselves. Now this stopping point is exactly where we cut. It came and turned around. Here, it stopped exactly. Now you said these parts are difficult, right? Exactly how will it come out? And then, look, this one will make a full turn here. It will make a full turn in this spot. I'm taking it, measuring from this spot. I'm placing the measurement in another spot again. Here, I drew it on the circle. I drew it on the circle, and where else should I draw? I'll draw it in the middle. Let me draw one here. Try not to make any mistakes. Let each line stand as an imaginary conditional mark here. After 40, it comes up to here. This one also comes around, up to the condition. These two will intersect. Anyway, that's just how it turns out. Okay, the point where the circle ends is right here. Right? And this comes up to here. You cut both of them. Now here, this one will rotate. It will be on this side. This one rotates. It happens with this one too. Watch closely. So, what you drew earlier, this is how you're working with it, right? You're working like this, right? You put this one onto that one. See, I'm not changing it. I would make its radius like this myself. Now what's left is that small one. Here it is. you connect that one. It gives you the radius. It gives you the center of rotation. And you place it there and write it down. The same thing is present here as well. See, did you notice? There you go. There, it's done. Now about the matter of hatching, as I said last night as well, 60 or 70 times. Take any compass you want. Here you are working with a compass. Place it here, take the same distance, and put a point here. Put a point here. Put a point on this side. Can you manage that? Once you have carefully placed it in the correct position, you can begin to hatch it. Now, can you hatch it exactly like this, making sure that it stays perfectly parallel just like this? There you go. That is looking much better now. Which specific part of this was the most difficult? In the video called What is a Drawing, we also won't speed it up. Why? Because in some videos, certain parts are sped up to save time, but here we are not speeding it up. Now, if some of the parallels happen to go off a bit, I would like to ask you to please excuse it, due to the fact that there might be very limited available space on the board. Is the detail done? Now, feel free to check your time. How much time has passed now? How much? Not 15 or 3, we said 5. How much time did it take? 35 minutes. Did we draw it in 35 minutes? You still have the connection in front of you. Is that right? You can draw the connection. For example, start it. I will explain that in our next lesson. But when it comes to coloring, if you have time, what will you do with it later? You will color it nicely. Coloring should also be done evenly, like this. Here, you color it just like this. As shown, you should color it all evenly like this. Don't do each part differently. When we talk about types of lines, if you choose a main guiding line, you should keep the same thickness throughout. Don't make one thicker and the other thinner, like this. It should be consistent. Now, this is something that happens with a compass. It happens with a compass. Don't say that the pencil is different in this compass. Adjust it to match this thickness. Let it be exactly like this, for example. For example, let it be just like this and let it repeat exactly the same. Do you understand? So let it repeat. You can manage it however you need. You color it in. Now look, see, now it's gone off in this direction. Now since I've colored this, I'll bring it out this way and adjust it accordingly. Here are the lines. Do you see? If you color over here, it was already colored before. When it goes off in this direction, you'll have to erase it afterwards. Here you go. Color it in like this. It's a matter of size. Even yesterday, regarding size, what did we say? That same problem is happening. It hasn't been taught. Do it like this, whether it's a joint or something else. Now we'll make this circle with a compass right now with this tool. Now I'm doing it by hand. There's the matter of hatching here. The hatching should be at 45 degrees. Here too, if you don't know what 45 is, I'm doing it like this, making them all the same, like this. This gives you 45. So this is 45, here you go. See, can you see this? There you go. So you shade this as well, like this. Now as we're shading, can you tell the thickness between this line and this line now? Now you can see it, right? There you go. But make sure the distance between these lines is also the same. When you're adding dimensions, I'm not shading anything else right now. So when you're adding dimensions, for example, if you want to add both, you don't remove this one, add this one first, and then add the other one later. First, place the shorter one, and when the dimension line is drawn, it won't extend 6 or 7 millimeters to the right. Then, bring it over and neatly place the tick mark, and even the small one won't stick out. It only sticks out a little bit, just a millimeter or two further here. So, what was this measurement again? All right, if I'm not mistaken, it was this, right? When we write it in shorthand, how do we write it in the notebook? We write it in shorthand then. If we use shorthand, we need to make it look like that. Then maybe, God willing, when you get into higher education again, why not stick it in between? If there's a space of 1 millimeter between them, if the drawing is large, the space between them will be 2 millimeters. You shouldn't place this one too close either. There won't be enough room for the drawing. You shouldn't let it drop down like this from below. You should measure it like this and continue in this way. For example, if there are 10 or 15 dimensions, they should be distributed evenly. 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 3 by 3, and so on. There's no suitable place for it. Here the center axis is messed up. If you draw the center axis from here, and if there's a small dashed line, the point will be in the middle. It will always be small and circular. The lines have gone out here. We'll erase my line. We'll erase the lines then. So what do we do now? Now we'll do it in the proper form. That is, we'll do it differently than before. Here, erase the parts that have gone out. What will you do? You'll decorate it nicely. Okay, now after you've colored this, for example, it's better to put the size of the line here. Because, put it in the place that suits it best. Let the line for the measurement be different. Here is this line. Let this line be thin and different. Do you understand? This one turned out too long. This is also considered a mistake in this case. Don't repeat the same measurement twice. If possible, place the circles where they belong. For example, put this radius right here. For instance, here is the radius. If possible, it's better to put the circle's measurement there. If there is space, instead of putting the diameter in a small spot, don't take it out and put it somewhere small like that. This is also considered a mistake. Actually, that's how it is. We're saying if there's an opportunity, you understand. Now, if there isn't an opportunity, you just put it like that. All right, now depending on your time, you can do this. You can keep doing it. You can put the new one right here. All the dimensions should be equal for all three placements to work. But now it's not necessary for them to be exactly equal. There might be two more, or it could be different. If that frog doesn't fit or can't be placed, just put it somewhere where it looks nice. Now, you're not just going to toss it aside somewhere, right? You'll put it down, maybe here, maybe there, but you'll put it somewhere. They say you need to place it with taste and aesthetics. Anyone who sees it will say, wow, this applicant draws really well. All right, who has a question? That's all there is to it. Now we'll give you that time. Those same options are available for the online participants as well. They'll take it and start drawing. Once you're done drawing, immediately submit your answer online. If there's a mistake, we'll point it out right away. Again, draw at the same time. Once you sit down for a drawing, do it at that time. Don't leave thinking, I'll just take care of something else and draw later. During the exam, you won't be allowed to leave and come back to draw. That's when you'll get used to drawing on the spot. All right, see you in our next lesson.